Well, my goodness me, after that men's singles, what a thriller it was. An hour and a half, over an hour and a half. But we've still got two more semi-finals to come. The defending champion, Saina Nehwal, against the former champion, Wang Yihan. And then we finish with mixed doubles. Wow, goodness me. That's got the heart racing, hasn't it? Women's singles, this should be good too. Saina Nehwal, last year's champion, defending her title here up against the 2011 winner, Wang Yihan. As far as the women's singles, the Destination Dubai list is concerned, all 10 players on that list have contested a Super Series final this year. That is a remarkable statistic. And in fact, Sun Yu is the only winner of a Super Series event not on that list. And she is just one place below Yamaguchi at number 11. Well, Li Shuirui through to the final. I can tell you that Wang Yihan suffered a very nasty looking injury in the opening game of that semi-final, all-Chinese semi-final in the bottom half of the draw. And in all honesty, it didn't look to me as if she should be playing on. But if she had retired from that match, she would have lost all of her ranking points. So she soldiered on. But here we've got the women's singles semi-finalists. The tall Wang Yihan, there she is, the 27-year-old from Shanghai. No, she tells me she's only 178, which is 5'10". She always looks taller than that to me, Wang Yihan. Saina Nehwal just dropped down from her world number 1 position. Now at number 2, but of course when the entries were in and the seedings were done for this event, she was number 1 in the world, hence her number 1 seeding position. Won the title last year, beating Akane Yamaguchi in the final, did the Indian number 1. Wang Yihan winning 4 years ago, beating Wang Xin in the final. Her world ranking has gone down to number 8, and I say gone down because she did spend 118 weeks as world number 1. She was totally dominant in 2011, in fact won 3 of the premier events that year. This year she's been in 2 finals, won the Chinese Taipei Grand Prix Gold and reached the final of the Korea Super Series. And as you can see from those results, she's absolutely cruised through to the semi-final here, beating the number 4 seed Tai Su Ying in the quarter-final yesterday. And that was her toughest match so far. Well, as far as the defending champion is concerned, as I was saying, she's gone down to number 2 in the world rankings. 14 weeks in total she had as world number 1. She's number 4 on the Super Series list, and her win-loss record for the year, well, 4 finals from 11 tournaments played. And her biggest test as far as the score was concerned was in the second round against Tijing of Malaysia. Had to come from behind in that deciding game, 13-15 down. But Sun Yu in the first round, and Sun Yu is the player that I was telling you about who's won a Super Series this year, but not in the top 10. And Okuhara, who won the Japan Open in the quarter-final stage. Well, this is the 13th meeting between the two players. The last time they met was in the quarter-final of this year's World Championships. And of course, Saina Nehwal went on to take the silver medal in the World Championships, losing to Carolina Marin in the final. So Chen Jin and Tang Shuihua, the Chinese coach who was coaching Jiang Ning. There is Vimal Kumar.
Wang Yihan, China. And on my left, Saina Nehwal, India. Saina Nehwal to serve. Level 3.
So the defending champion against the former champion. Well, Steen, you were the one that spotted that Coach Tang was back helping the Chinese women's singles players, and you think that's significant, and I agree with you.
Yeah, I think he's been on the circuit coaching for many years and is an accomplished coach, and I think maybe some advice is helpful. We've seen the Chinese women's singles struggle throughout this year, and we've also seen them in this tournament where they've been absolutely magnificent. We've seen Li Shuirui return to form starting in Denmark Open, but beating Song Ji-hyun comfortably in this tournament, and now she's ready for the final. We saw Wang Yihan surviving a big scare against Sindhu and beating Carolina Marin, and Wang Yihan easily defeating Tai Su-ying yesterday in the quarterfinals. So I think you could say that it's a positive tournament for Chinese women's single, and I thought Wang Yihan here yesterday also looked to be better than we've seen her for a long time.
Yeah. Well, just to emphasize the point that you made there, Steen, about China, by their own very high standards,
Exactly.
not doing well in the Super Series in the women's singles this year. Only 2 titles, Sun Yu, that we've already talked about in Singapore, and Li Shuirui retaining her Denmark Open title. Those are the only 2 Super Series women's singles titles going to China this year.
And then you could say, yeah, but titles is not everything, but also the world ranking. There's no Chinese player in the top 5 in the world ranking, and that's probably going to change after this tournament. But that's not what they're used to. So they've had a not so good year. There could have been all kinds of difficulties with injuries and so on. We know that Wang Yihan is always playing with a strapped right knee. So but it's just the fact that the competition has been much tougher in women's singles this year, and yeah. That's very nice, very entertaining to see different players.
Good rally. Yeah, it's gone wide.
Yeah.
That's a long, punishing rally. Yeah, apart from Carolina Marin winning 3 Super Series tournaments, no other player this year has won more than 1 Super Series title. So, I mean, the point that you never know who's going to win.
No.
You know, of course, Carolina Marin is the favourite, just as Chen Long in all the men's singles tournaments is favourite.
He's a bigger favourite.
He's a bigger favourite, yes. Yeah. But I think women's singles is the discipline that's wide open and the most interesting discipline at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, and in many different countries. I mean,
yes.
Japan has at least 2 players who can win Super Series, perhaps even more. Chinese Taipei, Spain, India.
And let's not forget Ratchanok Intanon from Thailand, who won in Indonesia.
Yeah, very impressive tournament, that one from her. I actually had her as a very high, big contender for the World Championships, but that didn't happen, and first round loss here.
Only seed not to get through to the quarter-final here. Yeah, it was disappointing from the former world champion, wasn't it, here?
Who was she playing? Wasn't she playing Okuhara?
She lost to Okuhara in the first round.
So that's just to emphasize how tough the challenge is in, or the competition is in women's singles. I mean, she's won a Super Series tournament herself this year, Okuhara, but she wasn't seeded.
Yeah. We've had 2 unseeded winners of the Super Series tournament this year. Sun Yu was the other in Singapore. These are tough rallies, aren't they?
Yeah.
5-0.
Well, by my reckoning, Wang Yihan is the most successful women's singles player in the history of the Super Series, having won 20 titles
Check. Point.
from 28 finals. Oh, that's a good smash, isn't it?
7 point.
What is the difference? Do you think that physically Wang Yihan is struggling in comparison to 2 or 3 years ago, or have the rest of the world caught up? I think that Carolina Marin is taking the game to a new level. Do you think that all the opposition have improved a lot? I certainly do.
Yeah, I think so.
8
And
point.
it's been tougher. I think it's the physicality and the injuries and so on. It's tough to get through a draw in women's singles because, as you mentioned earlier, you could have Okuhara in the first game.
Yeah.
And if you're going to beat her, you're going to be a little bit tired for the matches coming up. So
9
you have to be in good shape
Right.
yourself and have a bit of a luck in the draw. Shurui is looking good to win this tournament. Disposed of Song Ji-hyun easily, and then also had a quite easy semi-final against Wang Xishan, who,
service over.
as you mentioned, got a little bit injured in her knee. So that's just helping you that you can finish the matches quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that has helped also Carolina Marin a lot, that she has this attacking playing style and is in extremely good shape.
Service over. 10 shake.
Very good start from Saina here.
Yeah. Well, especially when you consider that she was 3-5 down. 7 of the last 8 points. Oh, brilliant. What a sensational shot from Wang Yihan.
7 10.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that was a desperation shot. She wasn't in
11,
position.
7. Interval.
So a 4-point advantage, 11-7. Oh, this is interesting. It is still Chen Jin that's doing the coaching at the interval.
Yeah, they probably.
Oh no, there we are. There's Tang.
Ah. Yeah, it's hard to say whether it's for good that he's back with the team in this Olympic season, or it's just because it's the China Open, so they have the possibility of bringing in a number of coaches it's going to be interesting to see that. Is he going to be in Dubai for the Super Series finals? Hong Kong would be very likely, in my opinion, that he also travels there.
7, 3.
Hong Kong next week, of course, the last of the Super Series events before the Super Series finals.
I'm just having a little discussion with myself here whether I've underestimated Saina Nehwal in this tournament. I think she's slowed down a little bit after the World Championship where she reached the final, and understandably so, but it seems like she's in quite good shape here for the last part of 2015. I rated Wang Yihan's win yesterday over Tai Tzu-Ying. I rated that really high because she's been struggling against the Chinese Taipei player. Lost the 3 previous matches, but won easily yesterday and looked quite convincing.
10, 11.
I don't know how to interpret that coaching situation, but yeah, at least I don't know if it's correct, but I interpret it this way, that Tang Shuhua is sort of calling the shots and Chen Jin is saying, yes, I think so too.
Well, the 4 points since the mid-game interval have all gone to Wang Yihan, and she's back level. Overdone it. There's a couple of times I thought she's played overheads while she's been off balance, Wang Yihan.
Yeah. And it's, in my opinion, it goes for both these players. I mean, of course, they're technically good. Of course, you're technically good, otherwise you don't win that many Super Series tournaments and achieve at this level. But it's not like it's not like they're outstanding technical players. They're efficient players.
Service over. 12, 13.
In terms of technical skills, Tai Tzu-Ying definitely comes in, to my mind, as one of the more technically skilled players, together with Ratchanok Intanon. And that's the beauty about badminton, that you can actually win in many ways.
Yeah. I was going to say not only technical skills, but the aesthetics, oh, that's delightful, of Tai Tzu-Ying and Ratchanok. The easy, relaxed hitting style is just gorgeous to watch, isn't it?
And it's so easy to fall in love with players that have this technical ability. It's just not always very efficient.
Yeah.
Service over. 13, 14.
I think we saw a similar development yesterday in the match Wang Yihan played, where she was trailing a little bit and then taking the first set by a couple of points to 3. And the same in the second.
It's gone wrong.
Service over. 15, 13.
Oh, it's called good. I think there's a challenge here.
Wang Yihan, challenge. Court 8.
Yeah, another one of these cross smashes.
Oh, I thought that
Hard
was
to
in,
judge.
looking at
It
it
looks in.
again.
Yeah, straight on the line.
Yeah.
Was she Olympic silver medalist, Wang Yihan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Challenge.
It's interesting, the last two Olympics, in my opinion, the dominant player lost the final. In
Yes.
2008, Xie Xinfeng lost the final to the old master Zhang Ning, and in 12, Yihan to the up-and-coming Li Shuirui.
Mm.
It's just a different kind of pressure in that tournament.
Right.
Very alert Saina.
And it was Saina Nehwal that Wang Yihan beat in the semi-final in the London Olympics.
Yeah, still has a really good head-to-head against Saina, but
But look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no panic. It's just, right, I'll just guide it into that open space.
yeah.
Yeah.
Every little inaccuracy from Wang Yihan is punished by Saina. That's amazing.
It's gone long. Yeah, game point opportunities.
Game point 13.
Well, since being 3-5 down, I think that really Saina Nehwal has been in total control.
Yeah. Great smash.
Fabulous smash. 21-13 opening game. The defending champion is looking very, very good. 18 minutes for game number 1. It was clinical, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Look at this final smash. Brilliant.
Both coaches have left the court already, but using the 2-minute interval.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
That seemed a long 2-minute timeout, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
second grade, level 3.
Pushed it wide.
Yeah.
1, low.
Oh, that's a misjudgment. Oh, well, she's challenged it. I thought that landed in, but we're not in the best position to see that, are we? And it's very, very early stages of this game to be making a challenge.
Yeah. You would expect the linesman to be able to make a good call when it's coming straight down, dropping from above.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Challenge unsuccessful. Saina Nehwal. Challenge 1 remaining. Service over. 1-0.
Is there something tactically that Wang Yihan needs to change from the opening game, or was it just that she seemed to me to be making silly mistakes?
Yeah, in the middle of the game,
Yeah.
it sort of slipped away from her. She was definitely in it at 13-14, and then everything slipped away. I think she needs to put a lot of pressure, keep putting pressure on Saina. Never let her have a moment of rest. The question is, does she have the touch, the ball security to do that, or will we see mistakes like this one? And also, I mean, it was also when she played a little bit short or a little bit too close to Saina in the first game. She was punished by Saina. She was really, really good at punishing Wang Yihan, and I just checked the draw and looking for what was it that made me underestimate Saina, and I think it was the second round match where she was in big problems against T Jing from Malaysia. And I mean, if she can play like this, then we have to give a lot of credit to the Malaysian girl for stretching her to 21-19 in the third game. So she might be a player to watch out for in the next week in Hong Kong.
I'm just stretching my memory bank here, but I have a feeling T Jing at the Hong Kong last year beat Wang Yihan.
Yeah. And a player that definitely has potential, but we have rarely seen her make more than one good match, one good challenge. She's been troubled by injury, but she seemed very good shape in this tournament.
Oh, good retrieving.
Well played.
Man, that's a clever smash from Saina Nehwal.
Yeah.
But talking of Malaysian players and Chinese players, you were pointing out to me this morning about the World Junior Championships, 2 in the girls' singles, no medalists from China, or in the boys' singles.
Yeah.
And the semi-finals in the women's singles, 2 Malaysians and 2 Japanese players.
Yeah, very big surprise that
Hebing
Zhao was knocked out in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Chinese left-hander, favourite to win the World Junior title, girls singles.
I think she was defending champion. Am I
No.
wrong about that?
No.
No?
Akane Yamaguchi,
Akane Yamaguchi.
5-4.
who of course didn't defend, could have defended her title, but chose to play here. Trying to defend her final points for a world ranking, because it's quite a battle for Japan in the women's singles as to who's going to qualify for the Rio Olympics.
Well played, well played. And every time she plays a little bit too short, Wang Yihan, then Saina's there and ready to exploit it.
Oh, what a return of serve, my goodness gracious me.
6-0.
Good deception.
Service over.
You see
7.
the legs of Wang Yihan just moving in a wrong direction. Have to stop and then go. And got too short legs for that.
It's another awkward looking bit of movement, wasn't it, from Wang Yihan?
Yeah. And as always, the Chinese women's singles, they've got their own sort of Olympic qualification. It's not about making the international, that's a well-placed smash.
Yeah.
Not about meeting the international demands. It's more about being amongst the 2 best in China. And Li Shirui with the title in Denmark Open and defending Olympic champion, and a final here at least has sort of, in my opinion, locked in on one of the spots, and the other one is between this player Wang Yihan and Wang Xishan. And if Wang Yihan loses this match, I would sort of give Wang Xishan the advantage, because she's beaten Carolina Marin twice, and Wang Yihan has been, at least lately, beaten quite convincingly by Marin. And I think that matters to the Chinese team management.
Good rally.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone wide.
And that was the first clear from Wang Yihan, who had the correct length. Otherwise, she's been playing really, really short.
Oh, my goodness me.
Service over.
And of course, again, thinking about the Olympic selection last Olympic Games from China, we probably shouldn't rule Sun Yu out
No.
of the equation, even though she lost in the first round. But she lost to Saina Nehwal, so in two very close games. So probably doesn't count too much against her.
No.
And when the Olympics was in London, it was actually first after New Year in 2012 that Li Shirui made her move, played extremely well in that period, and that got her selected ahead of Wang Xishan. Right.
Yeah.
Service over.
I always think Wang Yihan looks very awkward with those fast pushes towards her backhand side. She always tries to play the round the head shot.
Yeah.
And the number of times she makes that sort of error instead of playing a backhand. So it's Nehwal who has the advantage. 11-10.
Hold 1. 20 seconds.
Little bat on the back from Vimal Kumar.
20 seconds.
Vimal was telling me when he first started working with Saina Nehwal, he was just astonished by her level of commitment in training and in practice, and her intensity, you know, never let up for one moment. And you can tell that by the way she plays all of her badminton.
Yeah, look at those two shots
Yeah.
she got back there with quality.
Yeah. The only thing that concerns me is that I've been reading in the Indian newspapers that she trains for up to 8 hours a day, and I think as you get older, whether the body can cope with that amount of play on a daily basis and training.
I don't think it can.
No, nor do I. And I mean, look at her. She's got strapping on her right leg that she doesn't normally have. And you know, I've also been reading other articles about, you know, she's got a sore leg coming into this. She's had a sore shoulder, and you know, well, they need to be careful about the amount of training that she does. Of course, she's still got to work hard. She's still got to be fit enough, but not to the detriment of causing injuries.
No, exactly. That's always the fine line
Yeah.
in practice.
11.
And tournament play as well. I mean, everything has to be fitted together, and if you're doing well in tournaments, you have to back off a little bit in practice. And if you're losing first or second round, then it's much more easy to put extra practice on.
Oh my goodness!
Service over.
Well, that was swing and hope, and it worked. Look at this second defensive shot. Couldn't get a third.
Good shot.
That's clever again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good use of the body smash.
40. 13.
Is that a sign that she's a little anxious?
40.
No, I don't think so.
No.
But it's an important phase we're coming into now.
Yeah, that's overdone it.
For Saina, of course, you'd like to close it out in 2 games and get it over with. If she loses the next period here, then it's 1 game all, and anything can happen.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Well played.
Yeah, that's clever. Saina Nehwal getting in a muddle there, getting in a tangle. Yes, great length on that shot. Tosses the racket up in frustration, Wang Yihan. And one felt when the rally was in progress that was an important point. There we go, there's the frustration. Oh, why did I do that?
Interesting to see if any of the players can up the pace a little bit. Oh, that's a good save.
Good defense too.
Great shot.
Brilliant. Well, playing that with a slice and controlling it to keep it in straight down the line there is desperately difficult, and she played that to perfection. Oh, did well there, Wang Yihan.
Well played, well played.
Well, you talked earlier, Steen, in the men's doubles about the hunger of the players because of the difference importance, and it's going through my mind, is Wang Yihan playing for an Olympic place right now, and does she realise that, and is that what's spurring her on?
That might be the case. And what's her best result this year?
Wang Yihan, runner-up of the Korean Super Series. She did win the Chinese Taipei Grand Prix gold.
Yeah, but that's not much to show for perhaps the most successful player in the Super Series history. That's been a bad year.
Yeah.
For Wang Yihan standards.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of other players would give everything to have a year like that.
Yeah. Didn't move her feet again at the back of the court.
And it's a tipping point for Wang Yihan between being able to up the... I think she has actually the possibility of upping the pace, but will it create a little bit too many mistakes?
Yeah.
But I definitely think she's on her way back into form.
Oh, that's wide. Goodness me. 3 straight points to Saina Nehwal. And is that 3 errors from Wang Yihan? Certainly 2.
2. I can't remember the first one.
Yeah, smashes to the body of Wang Yihan are so effective. And Saina Nehwal, with yet another to win that rally, has 2 match point opportunities. Only needed the one, and it was a rather tame finish to the match, in all honesty. All credit to Saina Nehwal. 21-13, 21-18. But how many unforced errors right at the end of the match from Wang Yihan.
Yeah.
Umpire confirms the score, 41 minutes, and the defending champion is through to the final once more. So just one more semi-final to come here from Fuzhou, the China Open Premier Super Series, and it's mixed doubles. It's the World Championship silver medalists Liu Cheng and Bao Yixin up against the Olympic bronze medalists Jochen Fischer-Nielsen and Christina Pedersen. Well, as far as the destination Dubai rankings are concerned, just one change in that list after the French Open. The number 1 and the number 3 swapped places. So Go Sun-kyung and Kim Ha-na winning their 2nd consecutive Super Series title in Paris, having won in Denmark, went to number 1, and the then number 1 pair, Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei, went down to number 3. Where you can see that Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei are already through to the final here. 3 Chinese pairs in semi-final stage, having had 4 Chinese pairs in quarter-finals. 2 Danish pairs as well. That was nice to see. Steen, young Danish pair. I think they won the gold medal at the first European Games,
They
didn't
did.
they?
They did. A very encouraging effort from them, and also so far from Jochen Fischer and Christina Pedersen, who has sort of returned to form lately.
Yeah, it's very good to see. Well, the mixed doubles discipline with the Destination Dubai rankings, only discipline of the 5 disciplines where the number 1 changed places after the French Open.
Christina Pedersen from Denmark and Bao Yixin from China.
So here come the players for the last of our semi-finals, led out by the left-handed Jochen Fischer-Nielsen, who will turn 37 later this month. His partner, Christina Pedersen, 29, from Aalborg in North Jutland. They have been playing together since 2008. This is their 8th year together, and having won the Japan Super Series earlier this year, it means that they've had 8 consecutive years where they've won at least 1 Super Series title each year. That is a remarkable record. Well, their opponents, the number 4 seeds, Liu Cheng and Bao Yixin, well, what a World Championships they had. Reached the final in Jakarta, losing out to the Olympic champions in that final. Liu Cheng, he's 23, as indeed is his partner. Number 3 on the world ranking at the moment, enjoying their 6th week in total as number 3, which is a career high. As we saw, they were number 4 on the Destination Dubai rankings. And for Bao Yixin, she's trying to make her 2nd final here at the China Open, because 2 years ago she was in the final of the women's doubles with Xiang Xianxin. Lost out to Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang in that final. Their win-loss record for the year, the number 4 seeds, 5 finals from 13 tournaments, winning the India Super Series and the China Masters Grand Prix Gold. Well, as far as their matches are concerned, it was just the first round against Sonoda and Fukuman where they went the full distance. The second round was a repeat of the Australian Open final, and they got revenge over the Hong Kong pair in the quarterfinal against the married couple, Chris and Gabby Adcock. Well, it was a much closer second game than it was first. So to the man who is still 36 at the moment, not until the 23rd of this month will he turn 37. Twice they've been in the final of this tournament before, 2011 and 2013. Last year they were the number 3 seeds and lost in the last 16. They've been in 4 finals this year from 12 previous tournaments. They won the Malaysian Grand Prix Gold and the Japan Super Series, reached the final in Germany, the German Grand Prix, and the India Super Series as well. Now, isn't that impressive? And I can tell you, yesterday in their quarter-final, they were 7-14 down in that second game before fighting back to win it 24-22 in 45 minutes. So this is a match that will be contested, these two pairs, for a 7th time. The previous 6 meetings, overwhelming advantage, as you can see, to Liu Cheng and Bao Yixin. But the last time they played, it was won by the Danes. That was in the quarter-final of the Japan Super Series, which, as I've just said, the Danes went on to win. Now, Steen, I know you were talking to the Danish head coach at breakfast this morning. Did you discuss this match at all, or in particular, or not really?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it. I said that I felt that the match yesterday when Bao and Liu Cheng beat the Adcocks, that Bao Yixin fell down a little bit in the second game, and that was pretty much it. And the Danes, they've sort of had their second life or something like that. Wasn't playing that well last year. This time of year, there were concerns about whether they were going to play on as a pair or maybe split, and Joachim would play with another partner, Christina would focus on the ladies doubles and so on. And that's, in my opinion, troubled the pair a little bit.
Yeah.
And suddenly there was a sponsor conflict in the Danish association, brought these two players at least closer together. They have the same sponsor, and that has given the combination new life, in my opinion. I still hold Liu Cheng and Bao Yixin as the favorites in this match, because I feel they played well throughout the tournament. The match against the Japanese pair in the first round, they won the 2 games they won them with 7 and 8 points, but I think we might be in for a really, really good match.
Yeah.